Hey guys, what's going on? Brian Abarca here. Welcome to the first episode of my podcast. It's a pilot. I don't know the name yet. But yeah, I'm here. My goal here is to share my journey and the journeys of others in their route to success, whether they're entrepreneurs, whether they're fitness enthusiasts, whether they own their own business, whoever, trainers as well, since I'm a trainer. I just want to share my experience, share their experience, and hopefully this content could help out anyone out there. That's my mission. A little bit about myself. I'm a trainer. I've been doing this for almost a decade. You could tell this is a laid back vibe. I have a drink in hand. So I am off the clock right now, but I'm just trying to have an ambiance where I do not want to strictly just speak about fitness. I want to be able to go on different routes, to be honest. So this is why it's called pilot. Anyway, so a little bit about myself. I'm Peruvian, Costa Rican. I am 28 years old. And I was born here. So I was raised by a single mother. I feel like I've been an entrepreneur since I was very young. I used to cut hair. I used to sell sneakers back in high school and grade school. I used to literally have my allowance weekly and save all my money, not eat throughout the week, save up for my pair of Jordans. That's literally that was me in high school. And then a few years down the line, I was heartbroken, unfortunately, during high school, during the same time of the unfortunate news that I got with my grandfather. He was diagnosed with prostate cancer. I had to drive him to chemotherapy all the time. I was a little depressed, especially with those two combinations. And it was pretty tough. So I had a buddy of mine, his name was Patrick. He brought me to the gym environment, and the rest is history. I literally felt like it was so therapeutic for me to like just release my rage, release my stress. For some reason, I just felt so depressed and angry all the time. And it was so therapeutic for me. And I honestly feel like it saved my life. So something just kind of like just popped into my head. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to major in this shit. So I majored in exercise science in college. I got a degree in exercise science. And the rest is history. I worked from commercial gyms to corporate gyms. I rented out gyms. I freelanced in this whole span of 10 years. And now I finally have, this phenomenal lease in Union City, New Jersey. It's great. There's other trainers there. They're great. My clients, they're phenomenal. They're almost like my family. They're my friends. They're almost like my coworkers. And then on top of that, I love what I do. So then it ends up being an enjoyment for me to watch them grow and reach the results. So that's my approach. That's my perspective with my job. And my goal on top of that is to kind of motivate other people to find their love so they can be successful doing what they love, just like me. Something more about me. I'm a dog dad. I have a French bulldog. His name is Franky. Love him to death. He's a little asshole though. But I've had him for a very long time. And what else? I'm a diehard Chelsea fan. There's going to be some times where I'm going to refer to my soccer team a lot. You could tell by my sign there, diehard. I even have it tatted on my arm. Hopefully in one of these few episodes, you're going to see me with a short sleeve or a tank top, and you'll be able to see my tattoos. But I'm a diehard. I don't miss any games. Yeah. And then other than that, I'm also going to be answering some questions that I received through social media. For example, now recently, for the past few months, I've been putting up questions on Instagram every Monday, asking you guys to ask any fitness questions so that I could help you guys out. I've been answering them very briefly on Instagram just because there's like that 15-second stint. But what my goal is, on top of all what I just said, is to go into depth answering your questions through this podcast as well. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So make sure, to all my followers out there, my friends, family, if you have any fitness questions for me, make sure you get on top of that every Monday, just so that I can really go into depth on top of the brief answer that I put up on social media. Okay. And then, since we're on the topic, what we're going to do is answer some questions right now, since this is the pilot and I'm trying to run some minutes. So the first one, thoughts of intermittent fasting. I personally, for me, I don't like to do it on myself. I tried it myself. I feel weak when I don't eat. So like I would tell any other clients, and like I'm telling you now, if it works for you, great, go for it, do it. If you're curious, try it. There's nothing you could lose from it if you try it. But I tried it myself. It just did not work for me. I just feel weak whenever I'm at the gym and I don't have something in my system. I personally have clients who do it themselves and they see amazing results, especially if they are trying to, lose weight. However, if you're trying to gain weight, it's going to be very, very tough because, if you have a caloric intake goal that you're trying to achieve and your fasting is within like a 4-hour, 4-hour window, it's going to be extremely tough trying to consume those calories within that time frame. Other than that, I mean, it's a great tool. It's another tool in the toolbox that I would recommend if plan A, plan B, or plan C does not, go according to plan. Second question, do waist trainers work? Waist trainers could be almost like a placebo for you. You may feel like it does work. So then in turn, it does actually work for you. But the science behind it, biologically, in my perspective, is you could think about it as like you working out in a hot summer day or in a sauna. You're going to be sweating extra. So some may say that that's water weight. Some may say that that's actually burning fat. Science always changes. So me as a trainer, I have to be very, very neutral with the certain things you say and I don't say, just because, there could be facts one day and then tomorrow it could go out the window. But specifically, does it target fat? No. There's some concrete science out there right now that say that it does not target fat. However, it can improve your posture, let's say, throughout the day. So that could help as well. I personally tell my clients, if they're going to use it, try to limit or avoid using it while they're working out. Just because if you're trying to improve, strengthen, or improve your endurance with your core, it's not going to be as efficient because you're going to be dependent on that waist trainer. Because it's almost like support, it's like a waist training belt. If you're using a waist training lifting belt, you're going to be dependent on it. You could be lifting 600 pounds, 700 pounds, but then let's say, what if you forget your belt at home and then you're lifting, maybe 75% or 85% of that weight? It's going to be extremely tough. You're going to be like, wow, this was extremely hard. I usually can do this with my belt. What's going on? That's going on. You're becoming dependent on that belt. So that's why I usually tell my clients to try to avoid using it when they're working out. Yeah, so that's my take on it. Now, the third and last question, is it true you have to have protein right after your workout? Me personally, as a trainer, I usually tell my clients protein, protein, protein. They could vouch for me as well. Protein is your best friend. Whether you're trying to lose weight, protein can almost be like a filler. Like, for example, like if you have a snack and your problem is snacking throughout the day, if you pair it up with protein, you're going to be suppressing your appetite later on throughout the day. And that's the goal if you're trying to limit, your caloric intake, if you're trying to lose weight, etc. So yeah, protein is your best friend. If you're trying to build some muscle or gain some weight, again, protein is your best friend, especially after a workout. There's something called a catabolic state where you're burning muscle and you do not want to be burning muscle. You broke down your muscle during your workout. If you are burning muscle and breaking down your muscle in that phase after your workout, you're not going to be achieving your goals. There's some research on that as well. So you want to be careful with that. My go-to in general is to make sure you always have a source of protein every single time you open your mouth. Again, my clients could vouch for me. I always say that same exact way as well. Every single time you open your mouth to consume something, make sure you pair it up with protein. Implementing it with, carbs and fats, that's great depending on your goals as well. But again, if you want to limit the amount of fats and the carbs that you consume, protein could, again, be your best friend in trying to work around or manipulate your caloric intake and your macros. So yeah, that's my intake on that question. Guys, it's been a pleasure. This is the pilot again. Hopefully by our next episode, we'll have a name. And I'll have a special guest on my second episode. Love you all. Thank you for my followers, supporters, family. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do all this. And again, I'm looking forward to our next episode. Thank you so much. Love you all.